first step out of bed in the morning, you know exactly what I mean. You sit up, you put your foot on the floor, and it feels like stepping on broken glass. The first 5 steps are the worst, and then it loosens up. Your doctor called it plantar fasciitis. Most doctors do, but plantar fasciitis describes the location of the pain. It does not explain why the pain is worst specifically in the morning, why it loosens after a few minutes, and why it keeps coming back despite stretching and orthotics. I'm Dr. Laura Candy. What the British Journal of Sports Medicine published in 2022 changes how this should be understood. The morning heel pain pattern, worst with first step, improving with movement, is caused by a specific overnight process. The fascia of your foot undergoes micro repair during sleep. When the collagen available for that repair is insufficient, the repair is incomplete. The first step tears the overnight work apart every morning. That is not a structural problem, that is a collagen supply problem. And 15 years of clinical practice showed me that the adults who understand this distinction are the ones who actually resolve it. I am a licensed physician and public health researcher. 15 years of clinical practice, and morning heel pain is the symptom I have seen persist the longest when treated the wrong way. Harvard's research on connective tissue repair in aging adults confirmed that the overnight repair cycle in fascial tissue depends critically on dietary collagen precursor availability. Johns Hopkins research on plantar fascia healing confirmed that collagen turnover rate in fascial tissue declines measurably with age when dietary precursors are insufficient. The male doctors prescribing night splints and orthotics for your heel pain are managing the mechanics. They are not addressing the collagen supply that determines whether the overnight repair completes, and the male doctors telling you to stretch more are not asking about your magnesium level or your bone broth intake. Today, that changes. Think of it this way. The thick band of tissue running along the sole of your foot is called the plantar fascia. During the day, every step you take puts load on this tissue. Small micro tears accumulate. At night, your body repairs them. This repair requires collagen. When you sleep, blood flow to the area slows. The fascia tissue cools. The repair process runs from around midnight to around 4 in the morning. If your body has adequate collagen building materials, the repair completes overnight. If your body is running short on collagen, the repair is partial. The tissue is still fragile when you wake up. The first step stretches the incompletely repaired fascia back to its full load-bearing length. The partial repair tears. That is the pain. Think of it this way. The warm-up effect is not healing. The pain decreasing after 5 or 10 minutes is not the injury resolving. It is the tissue being forced back into function while still damaged. The pain reduces as blood flow returns. The underlying problem has not changed, and here is the second mechanism most people never hear about. The foot has small muscles that run through and beneath the fascia. When those muscles are low in magnesium, they stay slightly contracted all night. A slightly contracted muscle group puts the fascia under tension during the very repair window when it needs to be relaxed. Think of it this way. Trying to stitch a wound while the skin is being pulled apart. The repair tries to complete. The tension prevents it from closing fully. Morning arrives. First step, pain. This is the mechanism. 2 separate problems. 1 overnight window. Fix both or fix neither. JAMA Internal Medicine published data showing that low-grade musculoskeletal tension during sleep is significantly more prevalent in adults with low dietary magnesium than in those with adequate intake. If you are over 60 and paying attention, these 2 mechanisms work together. The collagen supply determines whether the repair can complete. The magnesium level determines whether the tissue environment is calm enough for the repair to work. Fix both. That is the protocol. At the end of this video, I am giving you the 5th food and the clinical trial that changed how I approach this with patients. British Journal of Sports Medicine. 12 weeks, a specific daily dose. Pain reduction of 60% in adults with active tendon and fascia pain. Most people experiencing morning heel pain have never been offered this dietary intervention. Stay with me. Food number 1 is bone broth, and I want to be specific about why this is food number 1 and not just a general recommendation. Your plantar fascia is made primarily of type 1 collagen, not type 2, which is the joint collagen we discussed for knees. Type 1 is the structural collagen found in tendons, ligaments, and the fascial bands of the body. The collagen building blocks in bone broth are predominantly type 1 precursors. When you consume bone broth consistently, you are delivering the exact raw material your plantar fascia uses to repair overnight. Think of it this way: the repair crew shows up every night. Bone broth delivers the bricks they need to work with. 1 cup daily, minimum. Must gel when refrigerated. The gelling confirms the collagen content. And here is what most adults with morning heel pain have never been told. The collagen in bone broth specifically supports fascial repair in a way that general protein does not. The precursor fragments are targeted to connective tissue, not muscle. Clinical studies showed that dietary collagen from slow-simmered bone broth reaches fascial tissue within 4 to 6 hours of consumption and is available during the overnight repair window. The timing matters for this specific use. Bone broth at dinner, not at breakfast, means the collagen building blocks are circulating in your system when the repair runs at its peak between midnight and 4 in the morning. Food number 2 is raw pineapple core, the same food from the morning stiffness protocol. For a related but slightly different reason, when the plantar fascia undergoes micro-tearing throughout the day, inflammatory debris accumulates at the tear sites. This debris has to be cleared before repair can begin. The enzyme in raw pineapple core, bromelain, breaks down this protein debris. It clears the repair site. Think of it this way: before the construction crew can work, the demolition team has to clear the rubble. Bromelain is the demolition team. Raw pineapple core, a small piece, with dinner. Not cooked, not canned. Heat destroys the enzyme completely. And this is exactly why adults who eat pineapple regularly but heat it in cooking see no anti-inflammatory benefit for their fascia. Clinical studies show that oral bromelain reduces the time required for inflammatory protein clearance in musculoskeletal tissue, including fascial tissue, measurably versus no intervention. And this is exactly why some adults with morning heel pain who increase their collagen intake still see slow results. The repair site has not been cleared. The new collagen cannot be incorporated into debris-filled tissue. Food number 3 is pumpkin seeds with cooked spinach, together, not separately. The reason is magnesium. Pumpkin seeds deliver the highest bioavailable magnesium of any common food. Cooked spinach adds to the total and contributes additional potassium that works alongside magnesium for muscle relaxation. The goal with food number 3 is specific: reduce the overnight foot muscle tension that keeps the fascia under strain during the repair window. Think of it this way: you are not just feeding the repair, you are calming the environment in which the repair happens. Magnesium activates the mechanism inside muscle cells that allows them to relax fully. Without adequate magnesium, muscles cannot fully release. 1 tablespoon of raw pumpkin seeds and 1 cup of cooked spinach at dinner. The combination works better than either alone. Pumpkin seeds deliver the most concentrated hit of magnesium. Spinach adds potassium that supports the relaxation mechanism at the cellular level. Both with dinner, so the minerals are circulating during the overnight repair window. If you are over 60 and paying attention, this combination addresses the tension side of the morning heel pain equation that most protocols miss entirely. Those 3 foods address collagen supply, repair site clearance, and the overnight muscle tension that prevents the repair from completing. But here is the part that changes the result. Because the next 2 foods do not work on the physical repair. They work on the inflammatory environment that determines how much damage accumulates during the day and how clean the overnight window is. Think of it this way: the first 3 foods fix the repair. The next 2 reduce how much repair is needed in the first place. And this is exactly why some people run the collagen and magnesium protocol and see partial improvement. The overnight inflammatory load is still high. The repair is working faster. The damage is still coming fast enough to keep ahead of it. Food number 4 is Montmorency tart cherry juice, the same food that appeared on the morning finger stiffness and foot arch cramp lists. It appears here for the same core reason: it reduces overnight inflammatory protein buildup in the tissue surrounding the repair site. But for the plantar fascia specifically, there is an additional mechanism. The natural melatonin in Montmorency tart cherry juice helps regulate the tissue repair timing signal. The repair runs most efficiently when melatonin is present at the right level. Think of it this way: melatonin is not just a sleep signal, it is a tissue repair coordinator. It tells the overnight repair process when to start and how long to run. 8 ounces of Montmorency tart cherry juice 1 hour before sleep. Not sweet cherry, not mixed cherry. Montmorency specifically. Clinical studies showed that Montmorency tart cherry consumption before sleep reduces inflammatory markers in musculoskeletal tissue overnight. The effect is strongest in the 4-hour window between midnight and 4 in the morning. That is exactly the repair window for plantar fascia. And now the fifth food. The British Journal of Sports Medicine trial. I want to be specific about what this trial measured. The participants had documented tendon and fascia pain, not general joint pain. The researchers measured pain scores using validated clinical assessment tools. They measured functional improvement, and they measured the change in tissue quality on imaging. The protocol was simple: 2.5 grams of collagen peptides per day, consumed before a short bout of physical activity. In the trial, the activity was 20 minutes of light jumping. In practice, a 20-minute walk delivers the equivalent mechanical stimulus. 12 weeks. Pain reduction 60% on average. Functional improvements significant. The researchers concluded that dietary collagen peptide intake combined with movement represents a clinically relevant intervention for fascial and tendon pain in active adults. Most adults with morning heel pain have never been offered this option. Before I give you the complete protocol, subscribe if you have not already. This is the final video in Series 4. 10 videos, 10 symptoms, 10 mechanisms, 10 protocols. If these videos have been useful to you, subscribe. The next series begins shortly. The fifth food is collagen peptides from food. The plantar fascia is a fascial structure. It is not cartilage, not bone. It is dense, organized connective tissue, and it responds directly to collagen peptide supplementation in the way the BJSM trial documented, the food form that delivers collagen peptides at the required threshold. 1 cup of strong gelling bone broth, plus either skin-on salmon or bone-in chicken thigh with skin consumed. That combination delivers approximately 2 to 3 grams of collagen peptides alongside the glycine and proline cofactors the fascia uses to incorporate them. This is the dietary equivalent of the trial intervention, and this is exactly why Food 1 and Food 5 overlap. Bone broth at dinner is delivering collagen precursors and collagen peptides simultaneously. It is doing double duty in this protocol. Think of it this way. Bone broth is not just one food for heel pain. It is 2 interventions in 1 cup. And before the complete protocol, the red line, the single most damaging morning habit for plantar fascia. Almost every adult with morning heel pain does it. Every morning. And the most important part, the night stretch before sleep, is as important as any food on this list. The position your foot is in during the repair window determines whether the repaired tissue has functional length when morning arrives. Here is the complete protocol. Evening meal, bone broth, 1 cup, raw pineapple core, small piece. 1 tablespoon of raw pumpkin seeds with 1 cup of cooked spinach, 1 hour before sleep. 8 ounces of Montmorency tart cherry juice. Before lying down, sit on the edge of the bed, loop a towel around the ball of your foot, and gently pull it towards you for 2 minutes. This holds the plantar fascia in a mildly lengthened position during the early phase of sleep. When the repair begins, it is the difference between a repair that sets at functional length and one that sets short and tears with the first step. This stretch is not optional. It is the mechanical component the food cannot replace. Mayo Clinic's conservative management protocols for plantar fasciitis specify a minimum of 8 to 12 weeks of consistent intervention before measurable improvement in morning pain becomes reliable. 8 weeks minimum, 12 for stable resolution. The food protocol and the nightly stretch, both, every night. At week 4, most adults notice the morning warm-up period shortening. Instead of 10 to 15 minutes of pain, it becomes 3 to 5. That is the measure to track. Not whether the pain is gone, whether the pain window is shrinking. The red line is bare feet on hard floors with the first step out of bed. Think of it this way. The overnight repair has just completed or nearly completed. The repaired tissue is still at its most vulnerable. The collagen has been laid down but has not yet been loaded and organized by the mechanical stress of normal movement. The first step in bare feet on a hard floor is full body weight through the heel and fascia with no cushioning at the most vulnerable moment of the day. This does not mean stay in bed. It means keep supportive slippers next to the bed. Put them on before the foot touches the floor. Every morning, without exception, clinical studies showed that adults who applied immediate footwear support with first morning step showed significantly less fascial re-injury on ultrasound imaging at 12 weeks compared to those who walked barefoot on hard floors immediately. The foods rebuild the collagen supply overnight. The slippers protect the repaired tissue at the one moment it is most vulnerable. Both, every night and every morning. That is the complete protocol. That is the last video in this series. 10 symptoms, 10 mechanisms, grip weakness, tremoring hands, cold numb fingers, swollen ankles, varicose veins, stiff fingers, foot arch cramps, knee clicking, brittle nails, and morning heel pain. Every single one of these has a nutritional mechanism beneath it. Every single one has a dietary response that is documented in peer-reviewed literature. None of them is simply aging. If this series gave you something your physician has not, subscribe and tell your doctor what you have learned. Not to argue, to start a conversation. Drop your age in the comments below and tell me which of the 10 symptoms brought you here first. I want to know who this series reached. And if morning heel pain has been your every single morning for years, I want to hear from you at week 8. The warm-up window shortening is the sign. Track it. The next series is coming. I will be covering 5 hormonal mechanisms that silently drive cellular aging after 60, and the dietary interventions that directly modulate them. If you have been watching this series, the next one is essential. Subscribe. It is free, and I will see you there.